how are preparations going ahead of the big game?
Well, to be honest, up until I think after the final whistle went on Sunday, we were really focused on the league because that's obviously our main goal this season, and it's really important to us. We've obviously had it in the back of our minds. We're human. It's not going to be easy to ignore. But preparation is going well. We're really looking forward to it on Saturday, and the occasion that's going to be, but also to make it a really as competitive match as we can, and make a good performance, and hopefully make it an interesting match to watch as well.
And I'm right in thinking you're unbeaten in since like October or something. So in terms of like preparation and confidence for you guys, that must be a big part of it too.
Yeah, definitely. Momentum's huge, isn't it? And we need to go into this game kind of full of confidence and really excited and looking forward to it. Obviously there's going to be some nerves, but I think it's more important that we enjoy the game that we're part of. And like you said, going unbeaten for that amount of time kind of bodes us really well in terms of going in with confidence, and that will only hopefully help us.
You touched on it there, obviously focusing on the league, but what's the feeling like in the dressing room in terms of balancing that excitement, but also trying to remain focused and focused on the task at hand?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be what we need to try and get right. Because there is a buzz, there is an excitement. But at the end of the day, it is a game of football, and we need to perform well. But I think there's a good attitude from the girls. We all really proud to represent this club in this kind of occasion, and we want to do all those that come watch us really proud. So there's a lot of focus as well as excitement going into the game.
How important will those fans be at the weekend to try and help create that atmosphere and create, I guess, feel like a bit of a fortress?
Yeah, I think it'll be amazing. From what I've heard in terms of the numbers that are coming, I think it's incredibly exciting. I don't think there'll be many of us in this team that have played in front of that many before, and particularly in the stadium will be packed. It's a bit different than playing in maybe a Premier League stadium, and part of it's full, even if it is a couple of thousand. So to play in a stadium where they're close to the pitch, it will be intense. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I think they'll be amazing, and their impact will certainly help us during the game.
You reached the fifth round last year when you hosted Brighton. How much do you feel like that experience will stand to you in this match? You've played a WSL side before, and you've experienced that moment. Do you feel like that will help you when you go out onto the pitch to kind of know what to expect, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I hadn't really, maybe thought of that too much, but certainly it will help us probably manage the occasion a bit better, knowing that this isn't the first time that we've played a WSL team. Obviously, Man United is a whole different kettle of fish, but yeah, definitely, I think part of it of Saturday is going to be, managing the occasion and managing our nerves and excitement, and having played Brighton and performed actually really well against them, and obviously we've also played against teams like Reading and got a good result. It bodes well in getting us in the right mindset of that game, and hopefully making sure that nerves are able to be managed and pushed aside for a little bit and just enjoy the game, and focus on that.
What were your biggest learnings from those games? You touched on Reading as well, but like in terms of maybe not changing your approach necessarily, being able to kind of hold on to some of your identity, but also recognizing that, you're going to have to adapt a little bit as well.
Yeah, certainly. I think you learn how to come up with so much quality, and how you might have to you know we focus so much on being comfortable without the ball, and in these games we understand that because of the quality we're up against, there'll be times when we don't have a lot of the ball, and it's about being comfortable in those moments. So I think that'll be really important against Man United in terms of understanding maybe the phase of the game, what position we're in, and just managing those areas as well, because it's important that we almost break it down on Saturday into segments, and we manage it in a way that suits us. So yeah, I think it will bode well, like I said, playing those games in the past and having those experiences to deal with the situations.
I guess when you're playing those games and you don't have a lot of possession, it's all down to being switched on, I guess, and being really disciplined. And, 90 minutes might not seem that long, but I guess when you have to stay so switched on and focused for that a period of time, it must be really difficult.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is the concentration. Obviously, physically, it's going to be a tough test. They're full-time players, they're going to be fit. They're international players, some of them. So, that level of fitness is going to go up a notch. And I always think on the day, sometimes that adrenaline will carry you through a bit more. But like you said, the concentration is certainly massive, particularly with how intelligent the players are that will come up against, and how relentless they can be. I think that will be something that we really have to keep focused on, is making sure that we don't switch off, because against quality like Man United have got, you switch off, you get punished. So that would be, again, something that we've worked on in terms of when we played friendlies against other teams recently that are higher up in leagues above us, where you have to keep your scanning, you have to stay focused, and it's something that, like I say, we stay comfortable without the ball, and it's something we practice a lot on. So that should hopefully do us well.
You are, of course, as we talked about, coming up against a side that are in some form at the minute, I guess, and I think probably known a little bit that when they get their press right, it can be quite effective. So is that something you kind of look forward, I guess, to challenging yourself against? I guess forcing you to make decisions quicker and really challenge you as a squad in terms of like your communication and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, it will be a really interesting test to see where we're at. And like I say, because the speed of the game only improves as you go up in the league, and as well as the press and the physicality. So it will be something that we want to challenge ourselves up against. We won't hide away from it. We'll try and play what's effective, certainly, and not play into their hands. But we all, we're very well aware of how, tough and how good a form Man United are in at the moment. But part of it is we've got to enjoy the challenge. We won't shy away from it, and we'll embrace it and look forward to it.
Have you identified areas that you can maybe exploit United in? And you can absolutely score goals. We saw that from the weekend, some absolute worldy goals as well. So, is there areas you've looked to exploit, or is that maybe under wraps?
Might have to keep it under wraps. Like I said, we know the quality we're up against, so anything that we might use as a potential chance to get in and cause problems, we might have to just keep close to our chest. I think, as well, it's about playing to our strength as well. And like you kind of touched on before, not changing too much of what we're good at. Yes, it's a big occasion and it's a big game, but it's remembering what our strengths are and what we're good at. And we know we can cause team problems, like you said, particularly going forward. We've got some, incredibly talented players up top. So we'll, as well as obviously looking at Man United and see where we can hopefully get some success, we won't kind of look too far away from ourselves as well, and focus on what we can do and what we can challenge them with.
Yeah, I imagine that's quite a difficult balance when you're playing in cup matches and you're maybe coming up against, whether it is a WSL side or just a side you're not used to playing. It must be kind of a difficult balance of retaining your own style, but also recognising where you may need to tweak things.
Yeah, definitely. I know there's a lot to be said. Maka always says to us, kind of, we'll always respect oppositions and the different threats that they'll pose us. We won't be stubborn enough to just play every game the same, but always remember like what we're good at, and the threats that we pose. So, I think sometimes you can get quite hung up and focused on the opposition going into certain games. Obviously, Man United is, again, a different kettle of fish, but it's important that we value what we're good at, and we don't underestimate that going into Saturday.
How much are you looking forward to stepping out on the pitch the weekend and walking out at home in front of all those fans?
I can't wait. It's going to be a very, very special moment for me, leading the girls out. Incredible group of girls, and we deserve, I think, this kind of occasion. We've had some great FA Cup draws in the past, but we've never quite had this kind of this level of draw, and getting this far. We deserve to have these kind of occasions. And for me personally, to lead the girls out on the weekend will be probably the biggest game of my career so far. And I can't wait, and it'll be really, really special.
And I guess finally, when we think of the FA Cup, we think of the magic ties and the magic moments. And I guess this is one of those. What do you think it is that makes the FA Cup so special?
I think it's got such an incredible history, isn't it? It's, one of the oldest competitions. So there's so much history of amazing games and upsets and all those sorts of things. And just any cup game is a bit special, because it's 90 minutes, anything can happen. And you get teams, like you say, that you never played against before, or you get the battle between, us in slightly lower leagues to Man United. You get these so-called mismatches, and you just never know, because it's 11 people versus 11 people. And with the crowd that's expected, anything could happen. And that's why it's so special, I think, because, like I said, it's 90 minutes that who knows what can happen.
Well, here's hoping for a little bit of a FA Cup magic, and we all have a cup set. So wishing you the best luck, and hoping it's a really, really good occasion.
Thank you very much, mate. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you.
Too.